We start with daily chart. You want to see how we can look at the chart, whether we can look for trade or not. First of all, we should know that the first thing, the price have to break 17.7. This is the previous stop, because if the price cannot break 17.7, we can expect this one turn to big correction for one more drop, because this is the only correction in relative to this, and we're looking at this one as a last wave. Okay, and even we get this reversal, if the price cannot break the 17.7, mostly we can expect this one turn to flat in relative to this for one more drop, because as we can see, the price couldn't retest 8.7. This is what we have been looking for. That's why if we want to look for buy, as long as the price haven't broke the 17.7, we need to be quite careful. This is the only things we can highlight based on daily chart. And even if we move to forward chart, the only things I need to highlight, if we put this stop in relative to the previous one, we have the different formation, because MACD doesn't show us the divergence, but the another indicator showing us the divergence. That's why we don't see the confirmation for the price to drop. Still, we can look for continuation, but the only thing is whether the price can break 17.7 or not. That's why as long as the price haven't broke the 17.7, any trade within this range based on lower time frame is a short-term trade. This is the only things we should know. We want to see whether the price can break 17.7 or not. For those traders, they get the trade within this range. All right, anywhere within this range, at least move their stop loss to either 15 or 15.5, because we want to see whether the price can break 17.7 or not. And if we want to look for trade, we don't have a really good trade setup. Having entry above this top, we don't have any reason to put our entry above here. It's not really good, and it's not a trade setup. Okay, by the way, the only times we can, even if you want to put this two in relative to each other based on 1 hour chart, if you want to look at this one as a flat, if this one turns to a first wave, we cannot consider this one as a last, because in terms of the length, they are not matched. Because simply we cannot put this one in relative to this, because we have as well this thing. This means all these things can turn to a correction. Okay, the only thing is whether we should look for buy or not. As I mentioned, the first things we need to see the breakout of the 17.7, and if this one turn to a deeper correction, from there maybe we take the trade for buy. But buying by having entry above this, I won't suggest it, because even if we put this stop in relative to the previous one, if we refer to the indicators based on 1 hour chart, we see we have a divergence. That's why we need to be quite careful. That means if there is a continuation, mostly we need to trade based on 15 minutes. But if we want to trade based on 1 hour chart, we need this one turn to a deeper move. All right, then from there we make a decision whether we should look for buy or not. The only thing is whoever get the trade, as I mentioned, within this range, within this move, either move their stop loss to 15 or 15.5, at least book their profit, because if the price cannot break 17.7, we can expect the price to drop. Anyway, we don't have any trade setup, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.